Hello students, my name is Mr. Kiran Dhawale, Department of Chemistry from RBNB College Sri Rampur. In today's topic, we are going to learn about epimerization. In last lecture, we already studied regarding the fused ring system like perhydroanthracene, perhydrophenanthrene and its possible conformations with its stability order. Okay, and now we see some reactions of the fused ring system having this is the example of perhydrophenanthrene, and we take here epimerization. In epimerization, so first we see about what is the meaning of epimerization. So if we have a compound and in that compound more than one number of asymmetric centers, but after reacting it with any reagent, it gives a product with a change in stereochemistry of a carbon atom. Okay, but here the stereochemistry of only one stereogenic center is changed. Okay, and all other chiral centers are intact or there is no change. Okay, so changes occur with only one chiral center and not others. So we call these are the epimerization. Okay, so we take here one example. Suppose this is a simple compound. Okay, this is the analog of perhydrophenanthrene, and here we insert at this carbonyl group. Okay, so this is one of the carbonyl compound fused ring, and having there are so many chiral centers. So here we have, these are some chiral centers. Suppose this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 carbons are chiral centers. Okay, here this compound is when we put here dot, also here we put dot, and here also we put dot. Okay, at that time what is the conformation? So as we learn in last lecture, what is the actual conformation, or what is the name of that actual conformation and what is the short form? Okay, so here we write, this is the cis fusion, so we write here cis. This is syn, so we write S, and here this is trans, so we write here T. Okay, so this conformation is CST. Okay, and when we add here a base, okay, at that time that base, suppose here OH minus, which is acts as a base, and that base is obviously abstract the proton from the alpha carbon atom. Why? Because alpha protons are highly acidic. In this case also that alpha protons are acidic. So here 3 alpha protons are there. 2 protons are present on this carbon atom having this one. Suppose this is alpha, and suppose this is alpha dash, and here also 1 proton which is at the beta side. Okay, so remember these 3 protons are there, and out of these 3 protons 1 proton will abstract by the base. So here, but first we try to write its chair conformation stereochemistry, and suppose we draw This is your chair conformation, and suppose these two protons are one hydrogen, this one is second hydrogen, and here we put in between these two carbon atom a ring. So here the remaining bonds are somewhat like this, so that we try to write in chair conformation. So this is actual chair, but in this case here one proton is there, so this one and this one also, okay, these two protons. Suppose this is above the plane and this one is below the plane, okay, you remember this one. So how we can choose that protons? Here 1 2, okay, 3 and 4, okay. So here fourth proton is alpha and all other protons are beta, okay. Oh, you see here these are the beta equatorial, beta axial, and this is the alpha axial, okay. So only one hydrogen atom is at alpha axial and all three remaining hydrogens are beta, okay. And here when we join the remaining bonds, okay, you see here, and this is also our bond, and here suppose this is your chair conformation, okay. So you see here, and this is a proper chair. Suppose this one is A ring, this one is B ring, and this one is C ring, and in this case here on B ring we have a carbonyl group, okay. So we write that carbonyl on this carbon atom, and this is the actual position according to this planar structure. So we have such a type of chair conformation of this planar conformation, and according to this we see the proton present on this carbon atom which is highly acidic and which is present at the axial position, okay. So here the structure having a very less energy, and it gives that proton when we abstract by base, at that time it will form a enolate ion. After formation of enolate ion, when we protonate or acidify that compound, at that time that double bond will simply redirect or abstract a proton, but that proton will abstract from the below the side or alpha side. At that time it will change the stereochemistry. So we get here another structure, and the next structure is somewhat like this, okay. So stereochemistry will change only one carbon center here, and here there is no change at any center, okay. And here we get also carbonyl group, okay, by the abstraction of proton, and our proton which is abstracted, I will show here this proton which is at the alpha position, and here the proton which is abstract, yes, which is we try to write that proton by wedge line, and here we write that proton by dotted line, so you understand very well, okay. Then here what is the structure, okay, and what is the short form? It's okay. So this is the trans, this one is syn, and this one is trans. So we write here trans, syn, trans, okay. And in this case here the energy difference is very much, okay. So what is the energy of this structure? So here the simply all these shears are there, and its energy is near about 13.4 kilojoules, okay. Why that energy associated with this molecule, okay. So energy calculation is according to the stereochemistry which is present in this chair, at that time you see here A and B fusion is cis, so that its energy is all about by the interaction. Which type of interaction is there? So butane-gauge interactions are there. So here three types of interactions, three butane-gauge interactions are there, and according to that we have 13.4 is the energy. But when we go for this structure, trans, syn, trans, okay, trans, syn, trans, and in this case here you see this is trans, this one is syn, and this one is trans, okay. And in this case here the stereochemistry change only at this center. Why? Because that proton is alpha proton, okay. And here you see its energy is very high, but before the energy calculation you must know what is the stereochemistry and what is the conformation in chair conformation, okay. So we try to draw that conformation here. Okay, you see here, and this is the actual conformation. Why? Suppose this is the ring A, this one is B, and this one is C ring. So that our proton, which can change stereochemistry, so that proton we put here, and the carbonyl group adjacent to that carbon atom, which we put here. So you remember that one, or you understand. So here the remaining protons, these are the beta proton, this one is also a beta proton, and this one is the alpha proton, okay. So you remember this one. Here only one hydrogen atom can change its stereochemistry, so we get here the different structure, and in that chair conformation we have such a type of boat conformation. Due to the presence of this boat conformation, this structure is highly energetic, and its energy is 29.4 kilojoules, okay. So remember, the product having much energy as compared to the reactant, and in reactant case the energy is very less, and in product its energy is very high. So there is no any change in reactant to product. Why? Because the stable conformation doesn't convert into the unstable conformation. So according to this, the forward reaction is not possible. But if there is presence of trans in trans, and it will epimerize, this trans in trans very easily epimerize into the cis in trans, but cis in trans doesn't epimerize into the trans in trans according to the stability and energy calculation. So the forward reaction is not possible, and backward reaction is favorable, okay. So you remember, the epimerization is carried out in backward direction, means what? Trans in trans are very easily converted into the cis in trans, okay. You remember this one. So epimerization is very simple, but when you know the stereochemistry of your structure, and according to the stereochemistry in chair conformation, at that time you are able to calculate its energy, and so that you have the idea regarding the energy calculation, okay. Thank you.